Anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
I would do this intro better than me.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mekaylajene, and
G-Money!
And we're back again with another...
You know you a star, you can touch the sky. I know that it's hard, but you have to try. If you need advice, let me simplify.
Alright guys, so as you can see from the title down below, this video is all about what do I do when the people closest to me do not agree with my relationship. So I have been hearing people coming to me like, Mekayla, what do I do with my relationship because my mama don't approve, or my friends don't approve, or my school friends, whatever the case may be. These, that, those, and them, they don't approve. So we are here with 3 things.
3 quick ones too. We're gonna get in and we're gonna get out.
In and out, in and out. 3 things that you should consider when it comes to people bringing advice or opinions to you based on your relationship.
And before we get started on the 3 things, I believe the most important question to ask yourself before you even dig into this video, if you're in this situation, how much do you trust yourself? How confident in you in your own decisions? At the end of the day, you have to live with the choices you make. Boom.
All right, so the first thing is, who is the person bringing this information to you? So it is your job to discern who is bringing this information, what is this information, and does this information hold any weight in terms of your relationship? So I feel as though if someone is coming to you, say your mom and your mom and dad are in an iffy relationship, their marriage isn't so hot. If your mom and dad are like, you know what, I don't think your relationship is that, I don't think the person you're dating may be the one for you. You guys argue a lot, da-da-da-da-da-da. So my first thing to tell you guys is like, understand who's saying it. So, okay, 1, your parents aren't in a healthy relationship for themselves. So how can they discern a relationship for you, stating that your relationship is healthy or unhealthy? So you have to understand who is bringing it to you.
Yes. And then 2, like, and this is why we got to try to make it quick, because this thing could splinter off into 100 different topics and ways to think. But even in that is what you have to look at is the individual's resolve. So if your parents aren't in a great marriage, how have they resolved the issues personally? Have you seen some bitterness set in, whether it's your mama or your daddy? Have you seen some bitterness set in and they like, man, and it's your mama coming, if you're a female and your mama comes to you and you're like, babe, I'm telling you, don't trust a man, you make sure you got your own. And it's like, that could be true, but is mama saying that because she's bitter and daddy left her high and dry, or she got to stay because she never planned anything? Or is she saying it because there is some sincere validity to it, because you just don't know how a person is going to change?
Right.
So you got to be able to take the information and not allow it to become poison for the relationship that you're in.
And then, since we just did mamas and daddies, also friends. You have to understand who your friends are.
Oh, don't even listen to friends.
No, you can listen to your friends.
Don't
I listen to all my friends. My friends have my best interests at heart. But you have to know who your friends are. Understand where your friends may be coming from. So there are some friends who may have just so much envy, hate, and jealousy that you are in a happy relationship that all they have to say is negative things about your relationship. So you also have to say, okay, so is this friend coming from a good place? Do they mean well? Or is it just because they're jealous and they're bitter about wherever they are and wherever I am in comparison to where they are?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. For me is, one of the things that makes it easy for me is I don't necessarily trust any person. I trust the principles. I trust how consistent they are to the principles that I believe uphold humanity. And if you have a person who is consistent in how they have lived, the choices that they've made for their lives, and consistent with it, whether or not it's the way you would go about your life exactly, the information that person gives you, it has value because they're being consistent to who they are. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So knowing who the person is, it's a beautiful thing. Knowing who the person is the first box that you have to check off. Who is this person? How successful are they? How much peace do they have in their own lives with the bad decisions, with the good decisions? And what is their interest in my life to where they would even want to offer me this advice?
So that's number 1. Number 2.
Searching for the truth. And the way you search for the truth is what things are they saying that have already been confirmed within yourself? Like, okay, that's confirmation. Or, okay, I hadn't even thought about what they're saying. I think they're a little off. Because no matter what a person says about your person, no matter what a person says about your person, they can't know them like you. Like, nobody can know Mekayla like I know Mekayla. My daddy can give me good advice. My mama can give me good advice. But at the end of the day, I know some things about Mekayla, and the way that we connect and our level of intimacy is unreplicable to anybody else in this world. So I have to understand who we are and take that and take those recommendations to apply them to who we are, and not just at face value saying that, oh, one size fits all, and because my mama said this or my daddy said this, then it's absolutely true about my relationship and I'm out.
Which is like saying people have opinions, and people are able to express their opinions however they want to. They may be wrong, they may be right, but it's up to you to figure out what's wrong and what's right. So that also goes back to knowing who the person is that's giving you this sound advice or unsound advice, whatever one it is.
Yes. I think it's harder to accept the truth from people that you already know. Like, say there's a friend and you've had some history where there's been a little jealousy and y'all have had some roller coasters because you have some hard bumps in the road. They can be telling the truth, and it's just hard to receive the truth from them because it's them.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you got to have people in your life to say, you know, what do you see in this regard? And if they see the same thing, then at some point, I believe that we have to be mature enough to accept it as the truth.
Yeah. Do your own research on that person.
Yes.
This person is what?
No, go ahead.
I'm not about to say nothing.
I was going to say, and what Mekayla's saying is true, and doing your own research, but at the end of the day, the power is still yours to choose.
Yeah.
They can be absolutely correct about everything, and you can say, I don't care. I will be miserable for the rest of my life if I can just stay with this person. And you got to be grown up enough to live with the consequences, because one thing that people going to do is say, man, I
told you she wasn't. Told you he wasn't nothing. Told you that joker wasn't about nothing.
And the last point for today is...
and the last point for today.
You wrong.
Yeah, baby, but you
wrong.
You went there, go.
You wrong.
You went professor on them.
And the last point is, what have you told everybody or these people about your person, quote unquote, your person? I think
this is huge.
This is a big one. I think it's important for us to understand that we give people the bullets to shoot at us. So if my homegirl is calling me every single day, Mekayla, my boyfriend done cheated, he done burned out my house, he's lying, he texting other girls,
he's spending his money at the strip club.
Whatever. If you are telling me all these things about your man, just trust and believe. When you ask me, should I be with this person? Is this person the right one for me? I'm going to say, heck no. And get your stuff and run.
And it's because I'm looking at bruh as a strip club, money spending, cheating, lying, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive. Like, I'm looking at him as that guy. So when you say something nice about him, I'm like, okay, cool. One thing.
All right, but you got to understand, it's just like a restaurant. When people go to restaurants, if you you give great service.
Great example.
But that person forgets to give you a peppermint at the end of the day. Or Chick-fil-A doesn't say, my pleasure. You like, bro, she didn't say my pleasure. Like, what you mean? So that's how it is with us. So if you're sharing all these negative things about this person, I'm not going to listen to the good things at all. I'm going to listen to them, but I'm not going to they're not going to soak in with me. I'm just not going to listen to it.
And that's the thing with human psychology. Like, psychology suggests that when we hear one bad thing, you got to hear about 14 good things to cancel out the one you've heard. So if every week for the last 2 months it's been everything that this guy has done wrong, I got to have 10 months of good things where it's like, okay, it's finally starting to shape up. And sometimes we can put our relationship in the dumpster ourselves with how we speak on it.
Yeah.
The good book says the power of life and death lies in the tongue. So you got to be careful what you say. And it can be the truest statement ever. But if you make a true statement to the wrong person, your relationship may never be able to recover from it. And if you're telling this thing to somebody who you aren't willing to cut off, your relationship is gonna suffer. Like, there are some people who I may tell some stuff to about me and Mekayla that I gotta say, you know what? I can't talk to them no more because I've already ruined the perception of who Mekayla is in their eyes because I was emotional on a bad day.
Right.
And it happens. But you got to be mature enough to weigh that, and you got to be mature enough to fight up against, what do they call it? You got to be willing to, a strong enough swimmer rather, to fight upstream against this river of negativity that you've created in people's minds. And then another point to make with that is, once you have given that bad information and they're bringing it back to you just like you brought it to them as a reminder, you got to make sure that you don't start looking around saying, you know what, they got their own relationship, they happy, or they telling me this, but they going home to a man every night or to a woman every night. And then you end up resenting them and you stay in the relationship to prove to people that you can do it. It's almost like you're looking for revenge. Like,
yeah.
and
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
That's
like,
self-sabotage.
It is. And you're robbing the other person of something good. Like that's what I think we have to really begin to do, is not be selfish. Mm-hmm. Like, it would be selfish of me to try to make our relationship work out of revenge, if, like, whether it was an ex or somebody said something that we couldn't work, and I'm just fighting to make it work against all rationale. And Mekayla's got to suffer in this relationship because she's like, yo, like, why are we fighting? Like, this ain't even making no sense. What are we fighting for? And you just like, I ain't leaving. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't letting you go. I told you we gonna be together. And that's great. Like, it's great that you want to commit. But what are you really committed to? Like, so you got to make sure that when you approach any relationship, man, there has to be a level of purity in your thoughts, a level of peace within your soul, and a level of confidence, man, that just allows you to approach this relationship as objective as you can and as freely and giving love as you can.
There you go. Just like that.
Just like that.
3 things.
And a bonus. It's 3 things and a bonus.
Yes, we did give you a bonus. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Hope we gave you some great insight on what to do if your friends, these, that, those, and them, they don't agree with your relationship. Like I said, leave some comments down below. Don't forget to turn your notifications on so you can receive a video notification every single time I drop another
bang.
Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and until next time, we'll see y'all later. Peace out.